Swing the microphone around like a rock star. Of course, we're live there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Griffith Observatory's coverage of the winter solstice sunset for 2022. We are happy to bring you these live streaming events. Each equinox and each solstice, we're doing these, and we are coming live from Griffith Observatory, if you haven't noticed by the surroundings. Now, of course, Griffith Observatory is owned and operated by the City of Los Angeles and the Department of Recreation and Parks. And we also like to thank our nonprofit partner, Griffith Observatory Foundation. Now, you might wonder, what are we doing today? What is going on here? What is so exciting? Well, we are here to bring you the sunset, and on a special day. Now, you might say, well, sure, the sunset looks like it's going to be gorgeous. There's clouds in the sky. So, yeah, let's do this. And that's a great reason to stay tuned. But on top of it, maybe you notice there's a line marked in our concrete right there. And we've said winter solstice sunset. We've predicted the direction the sun is going to set on this day. And indeed, today is the winter solstice. Now, what is the winter solstice? Well, it's a day in the northern hemisphere. It happens today. In the southern hemisphere, it happens on our first day of summer. So it has something to do with the seasons, obviously, by the name winter. Now, our axis of the Earth is not straight up and down with respect to our orbit around the sun. It's actually tilted by 23.5 degrees. And this causes a change in basically the weather. And when the pole is pointed away from the sun, we end up getting cold weather. Northern pole pointed away, you get colder weather. The sun is up much less of the day, and it's weaker. Now, why would that be? Well, let's think about it. Right now, the sun is heading to set very, very far to the south. It rose far to the south as well, and it didn't get very high in the sky. At local noon, the point of the day where the sun is as high in the sky as it gets, we used our meridian arc instrument at the Gottlieb Transit Corridor, which you can see the foil in the whole part of. We used that to show that the sun was not very high in the sky. In fact, it was the lowest it is going to be all year long today. So all that adds up to be that you end up getting colder weather. The sun's not up very long, takes a low path through the sky. Well, that combines to shorter daylight hours. So the sun is up less as well. So all this combines to meaning, yep, we're headed to winter, and today is the shortest day of the year. Now, one great thing, though, is the days are going to start getting longer. So if you enjoy the daylight like I do, there's going to be a little bit more of it tomorrow and a little bit more of it still the next day. Now, you might want to know, are we prepared for the other seasons? Well, of course we are. Here at Griffith Observatory, we don't just mark the winter solstice sunset lines. We've marked them all. So I'm going to walk over here and show you where the sun sets on the equinox. It's way over here. Now, I've left the frame. That's terrible on me to leave our cameraman. But you can see over here is the line where the sun sets on the first day of spring and the first day of autumn. Now, what's interesting about that is, well, one, this is a large change of angle. This is not a small change of angle. And of course, the first day of summer is even beyond where we're allowing the public to be. So I don't want to walk over into there right now. But you can see this is a dramatic effect. This is not a small effect. Now, each day the sun will slowly march further and further to the north as it sets throughout the year until we hit the first day of spring over there. And of course, we'll bring that broadcast to you as well. Boy, it does look like it's going to be a pretty one. I'm not sure how much the actual sun we're going to see, but it is going to be definitely a glorious, glorious sunset. Now, a few other things I want to point out about the seasons. On the first day of autumn and the first day of spring, the sun is setting due west. It rises exactly to the east, and it sets exactly to the west. That combines also to the days and nights are equal. So you have basically equal sunset or sunlight and equal night. Have to breathe through this mask as well. Catch my breath here for a second. So, and of course, on the first day of summer, the sun is going to rise far to the south, in the eastern direction to the southeast, takes a very high path through the sky. At local noon, it will cross our meridian arc in the Gottlieb Transit Corridor at the very lowest spot, and then it'll continue its path, and it'll set quite far to the northwest. So that'll happen in the summer. So make sure you come on back for each of these to our YouTube channel and pay attention to it. It's quite spectacular. So let's check in on our time here. Okay, excellent. So we are still about 13 minutes away from sunset. So you can see perhaps the most beautiful vista in all of Los Angeles here at Griffith Observatory. In fact, I would say the most beautiful vista in all of the United States, at least one from a city. You can see everything, and we're staring, looking straight across to Santa Monica and Westwood and Century City. Those are the buildings you are seeing off in the distance. So, catching my breath once again here. So, here at Griffith Observatory, by the way, I want to let you know, this weekend, while we are normally open on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, right now this weekend we're only going to be open on Sunday, and you must have proof of vaccination and have an ID if you're over 18 years old. So anyway, getting back to our sunset, we're slowly working our way down. The sun is behind those clouds, so I'm not sure we're going to get that beautiful shot of the sun along our line. We can continue to take a look at it here. And it is working on it, but I'm just not quite sure we're going to get a view that we want to be seeing of this sunset. Well, folks, we're lucky that we just have a decent day here in Los Angeles. This morning it was all clouds, so I'm still holding out hope that we're going to see that disk of the sun and be able to prove that indeed the sun is going to set along our predicted direction. We have yet to fail in our prediction. In fact, we've taken into account on the first day of summer, when it sets further to the north, it sets over the hills. And we've actually adjusted our angle a little bit to show the point it goes down and connects with the hilltop. Today, it's actually setting over the ocean. An absolutely beautiful view here in Los Angeles. Now, of course, what you're seeing is not the sun moving. You're seeing the effect of the Earth rotating. The Earth spins on its axis once every day, and this is causing everything in the sky to travel what looks like it rises in the east, crosses our sky, and sets in the west. Now, slowly but surely, the sun will march further and further to the north as the Earth proceeds in its orbit around the sun. So as we revolve around the sun, each day we rotate, and that causes the effect to have the sun appear to move further and further to the north each day until we hit the first day of summer, at which point the whole process reverses and the sun slowly moves its way back down to the south. And that's all caused by the tilt of the Earth's axis and the motion, the orbital motion of the sun, or the orbital motion of the Earth around the sun. Now, of course, the sun is orbiting the center of our galaxy as well, but that motion takes far too long for us to be able to track here at Griffith Observatory. But we do talk about it. Well, I'm still not seeing that disk of sunlight, and I think that sun at this point is down in that marine haze. It's definitely down low, and I don't think we're going to be able to see it come out, but we're going to wait here and try and find out. And very shortly, I'm going to stop babbling here and just let us enjoy the beautiful view. We definitely have a bit of an inversion layer here in Los Angeles, causing that low level of haze. But here at Griffith Observatory, we have an absolutely beautiful view. I can see the red colors approaching here. The red color of sunset, of course, is due to the sun's light passing through our atmosphere. And the more atmosphere it passes through, the more reddened the light becomes. The blue light is scattered out. So little by little, as the sun gets lower and lower, that scattered light we're seeing in the clouds will turn more and more red, and we'll get that beautiful view. We're also seeing reflection off of ice crystals very high up. That's some of the bright light we're seeing up high in those clouds. It's days like this that astronomers can join the Cloud Appreciation Society, as we like to point out at All Space Considered. Some of my astronomer friends wonder, what are you doing in a society that appreciates clouds? We don't want to have those out while we observe. And I think, well, I have to do something on days where it's cloudy and I can't see what I want to observe. This is typical for astronomy, by the way. We are at the mercy of what the weather's going to do. And we still come out, we still try, we give it the best shot we can. But sometimes you are left looking at clouds when you want to be seeing the sunset down on our line. Well, folks, I'm going to let you enjoy this beautiful view of the sunset. And we'll get ready to head back upstairs on the roof where we're going to, after the sunset, attempt to bring you some beautiful views from our cameras and telescopes. We're hoping to be able to see Venus tonight. Jupiter is out, as is Saturn, and we're hoping to get a little view of them, but still the clouds are here, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But enjoy this beautiful view of the sun behind the clouds. Let's watch these colors change together, and we'll watch that beautiful blue turn darker and darker, and then we'll turn on our telescopes and we'll bring you a telescopic view. Well, I'm Dr. David Reitzel, and thank you so much. Stay tuned for the rest of our broadcast here tonight, but I'm going to let you enjoy the sunset. And I'm just going to remind you that this is brought to you by Griffith Observatory, the City of Los Angeles, and the Department of Recreation and Parks, and of course our nonprofit partner, Griffith Observatory Foundation. And we appreciate all of you for joining us today for this broadcast. So enjoy this beautiful view of the sunset, and we'll get our cameras ready to start bringing you some images of the night here from Los Angeles, here from Griffith Observatory. So enjoy the view of the sunset.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our evening broadcast of the solstice sunset. We have a very beautiful view of the winter solstice. The sun set at 4:48 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are looking at the last rays of the sun hitting the clouds near the horizon here from Griffith Observatory. I'm Patrick Zoe, and right now we're going to go ahead and pan the camera up towards the brightest planet in our night sky, so we can begin to do that. There we go. Hopefully we can get a view of it. It's not that blinking light, that's an aeroplane that just went past. We're doing a little slow pan up. Venus has been in our evening sky for several months now, and it is the brightest object right after sunset that you can see in the evening sky. And let's see if we can even see it. And there it is. It's just about to go into cloud. So there's Venus, and we're going to begin our observing the sky portion of the solstice event. And let's go to the next slide here. So this is a picture I took last month, and you can see that there are actually 3 planets in the sky. The brightest one we just saw is Venus, and if you look a little bit further up, as the sky begins to darken, the planet Saturn is visible, and then much higher up is the second brightest planet in the night sky, and that is the planet Jupiter. So there are 3 planets in our evening sky, and right now we have our telescope pointed at Venus. So let's go ahead and switch to Venus. And this is Venus through our telescope here at Griffith Observatory, and what you notice is that it looks like a crescent, and the reason it looks like a crescent and can be easily mistaken for the moon, although it's millions of miles away and much smaller in view in our telescope, is that Venus currently is moving between the Earth and the Sun, and as it does so, only a portion of it is lit up and the rest of it is in shadow, and right now it is a very thin crescent, and very beautiful to look at. So we're going to go ahead and keep this view and enjoy the view, telescopic view of Venus, and we'll have some music playing right now. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at a live view of the planet Venus, and it is Venus is a crescent right now, and that's because Venus is moving between the Earth and the Sun, and Venus is the brightest planet in our evening sky. And if you're in Los Angeles and you have a view to the southwest, go ahead and look out your window and look for that bright starlight object, which is actually the planet Venus. Let's see. So for part of tonight's presentation, we will have we're going to go and take a look at some other planets as well. And I'm going to get my slides right. Okay. So at 5:30, this is the evening sky, just looking to the southwest. Venus is the closest to the southwest horizon. A little bit higher up, but much fainter, we have to wait for the sky to darken, is the planet Saturn. And then much higher up and easy to see, I'm looking up right now, it's the planet Jupiter, which is the second brightest planet in the night sky. We're going to go back to a live view of the planet Venus, and then later on we'll try and target Saturn or Jupiter, depending on the clouds. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our live broadcast of the Solstice sunset. We are in our observing session part of this event, and you are looking at a live image of Venus, although Venus is going behind, starting to become a little bit hard to see because there are clouds drifting that way. Let's go ahead and switch to a live view of the city as seen from Griffith Observatory with all its pretty city lights. The sky continues to darken, and we're going to go ahead and swing our telescope to the planet Jupiter, so you'll be looking at a live image of Jupiter. I think we're ready to do that. Okay, there it is. And there is Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, plus the moons, which are close by, those little specks of light. Jupiter is currently being studied by a spacecraft called Juno. This is NASA's mission to study Jupiter's atmosphere and also the interior of the planet. And that mission started in 2016, and the probe that goes around Jupiter takes about 43 days to go once around Jupiter. When it's closest to Jupiter, it is about 2,000 miles above the cloud tops of Jupiter, and has been sending us since 2016 really spectacular pictures of the swirling clouds of this giant gas planet. So enjoy the view of this planet and its moons, and you can see a little bit of detail. We might adjust the exposure so that you can see some of the cloud bands of Jupiter, but then in doing so we'll lose the moons. But we'll go ahead and periodically do that as we aimed our telescope at Jupiter, and you are looking at a live image of it. Enjoy the view. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the conclusion of the winter solstice sunset event here. I hope you've enjoyed the views of the sunset earlier with Dr. David Reitzel, and telescopic views of the planet Venus and now of Jupiter. At this time, we're going to go ahead and sign off for the stream event. This stream was made possible by the Department of Recreation and Parks, City of Los Angeles, and our fundraising partner, the Griffith Observatory Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time. Good night.